Tonight, broadcasting live from our studios here at QUT in Kelvin Grove, the brand new TV show featuring film, arts and culture. It's time for Late Night Viewpoint.
Hello and welcome to this very special live broadcast edition of Late Night Viewpoint. I'm your host Liam, and we have a show full of the latest points of view about film, art and culture from around the world, with a special look at what's happening right here in beautiful Brisbane. And joining me tonight on my left is Jordan, Georgia, and on my right, please welcome Ethan and Jessica. Okay, let's get started on Late Night Viewpoint with our first topic. Are live action remakes a good idea?
Well, if I may start us off, I just want to say that I kind of hate live-action remakes, just on principle, because it feels like we're taking these good classic films that have nothing wrong with them and just remaking them again for no real reason other than corporate sludge, just to make profit off of nostalgia. It's very transparent, very leech.
If I may say something to that, I think that creating a live action film of How to Train Your Dragon or The Little Mermaid or, you know, any of the other films that they have made is a way of creating another sense of, you know, just creativity and just, you know, sharing what a group of people can create and come up with in a way that's kind of beautiful and just, you know, shares everyone's love for film and TV.
Well, oh.
Well, I think there are some positives and some negatives. For one, these live-action remakes help keep the industry alive and they help keep people employed. For example, Aladdin and The Lion King, they each grossed over $1 billion, and that's very good for the industry, but not very good for creativity, especially with new films coming out that need just as much attention.
Yeah, you know, it is a shame when like corporates, like companies then, you know, really take what was good movies and then turn them to live actions that obviously didn't have much care behind them. Clearly we're just trying to make a profit. Like Lion King comes to mind, that live action remake. Nah.
Yeah.
But you know, I think if they remake turn something into live, it's fine as long as I think, you know, they have that care behind it. They clearly want to either add new meaning to it, maybe shed a different perspective or light that really makes the story probably better or even deeper, I think.
If I may, the main issue with it is most of them do not have that intention behind them. It is solely corporate. It only exists for profitability. Most of them go against the meaning of the original film, just purely to remake it for the sake of it. It comes off very gross to me.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, you know, I think it's important to make the actors quite similar to the originals, and I know that they haven't done that with a few, like The Little Mermaid and Snow White. There's been a few issues with, you know, accuracy towards, you know, remaking it, but I still think it's kind of great to just include all together.
All right, well, we'll move on to our next topic. What are the top shows you're watching on streaming services?
Well, at the moment, I'm watching The Flash, rewatching it. I've never finished it, but I'm slowly, you know, getting back into it again. It's, you know, pretty exciting. I forgot half the stuff that happened, so. Yeah.
Well, recently on Disney Plus, I've started watching Andor, which is a prequel to a prequel of the original trilogy.
It is making anything, huh, with the Star Wars.
It does seem like it. It seems like Disney Plus is just Star Wars Plus at this point.
Yeah.
My favourite's The Mandalorian. That's,
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's so cute.
I mean, yeah, look, I also recently finished watching Andor, especially, you know, in light of the fact it's nominated for like 14 Emmys and stuff. I really enjoyed this sort of like fresh perspective that it brought to Star Wars. I mean, the writing was just incredible.
Just when it seems that they have done everything and that Star Wars is getting stale, they just come out with a new series, a new point of view. and I really enjoyed it. And one of the actors was a Swedish actor. I remember him, and I loved him in Chernobyl, that HBO miniseries. It was incredible.
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was really good in both those shows.
Yeah, it does seem like it. I tried to watch Mandalorian. I tried, but I don't know. Like in the second episode, I was kind of like, yeah, this ain't for me.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it seemed like it was.
No, I loved
Entertaining.
it. Like,
I
you
really
know, you
liked
gotta
it as
get
well.
past a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
is it one of them?
some TV shows are slow in the beginning, but
Yeah.
then I think, you know, if you've watched and have like a, you know, previous understanding of the Star Wars movies, especially the originals, then it kind of ties into all of that.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cool. Just they have like little hidden Easter eggs,
Oh.
and they get cameos of other characters in, or you know, use AI, or I don't really know how they created, but a character that had
CGI.
Yeah, CGI. There you
They
go.
actually used a game engine for that. I watched a documentary on the making of The Mandalorian. They actually used video game engines for the CGI, which hasn't
I
really
think it
been
was
done before,
really
and I
cool.
really,
That's really
like
impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
that. Real innovation. Anyway, on to our final topic. E-scooters, great idea or just too dangerous?
Well, I'm going to start this off. I had an e-scooter for 2 years. I used it back in my hometown to get around. And they're a good way to get around, but they are very dangerous. I have slammed into a ton of stuff in the past, really messed up my arm and legs and stuff. And that might be entirely because of, that might be completely my fault, but there is definitely a conversation worth having about that.
All right, well, we have an audience member question right here, so
In terms of the movie remakes, do you think that there should be a time limit on when a film should be untouchable? Because, say, like How to Train Your Dragon, that came out, what, 15 years ago? A lot of people who went to see it now remember seeing it in cinemas. Do you think we should have waited 10 more years to kind of expand the audience a little bit?
I mean, look, I think it's less about the time frame and more like a it's more of like a case by case thing. It kind of depends on the movie itself. I think some of them, when they have these live action remakes, you know, like How to Train Your Dragon, that was it stayed pretty true to the original film. Whereas I guess when you have these live action remakes, you just want to see more of a fresh perspective. You want them to bring something new instead of just like rehashing what you've already seen.
well, I'm actually a bit torn because I love movies as a period of their time, but at the same time, a lot of these films are old, like 1960s, some are even 1940s, like Peter Pan. Anyway, we have another question over here.
Just on the topic of the live-action remakes, it seems there's a negative consensus on the issue as a whole. But is there a guilty pleasure that any of you enjoy out of the live-action saga?
Nope.
Yeah, my favorite Disney princess movie was The Little Mermaid growing up, and so I was very excited to see The Little Mermaid. Although the actress isn't the same, or not same, but there was an issue with races and everything. But I still think that the film that they created was pretty magical and special, and I like how
For
they
me-
use different visual effects and CGI underwater and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Well, we are all out of time already, so please thank my wonderful guests Jordan, Georgia, Ethan, and Jessica. Come back right here tomorrow night for even more points of view on Late Night Viewpoint. Good night.